Hey guys, good morning. Uh, Welcome back to Bullion Bullz live stream. We're going to be going through, today, uh, how the market is today. It's been the market's been rangy today. You can see we have a parallel channel drawn on the chart. Overall, the bias is bearish. However, the price has been, ranging between these two levels, 212 and 156. Let me just make it straight. Yeah. So we're just going to be waiting and trying to see if we can find a good setup for us. Ideal setup would be a break below the range and then a continuation towards 5120. Since we are bearish for the day, we're only going to be looking for sells. As always, we need everything to align before we take our setup. This actually helps us avoid, trades that can reverse and don't align with the overall trend. The reason we wait for our setup to form is because, as I mentioned, that a trader who is a restricted trader is actually a profitable trader. So let's wait and watch and see what market holds for us today. As you can see, we're seeing a lot of sell pressure coming in. Like there's a lot of sell volume coming in. All we need now is, a break of this channel. You can see here as well, price has tried to break down multiple times, but it couldn't. So we're gonna wait for now and see what happens. This is 5-minute chart. You can see 5-minute chart has broken the range. 1-minute chart is still within the range. So we're gonna wait. Is this the same range or different range? It's the same range. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there's been a gap down. Yeah. Such a market is we will have to wait. We'll have to wait for our setup to form now. Volume has flipped again. An ideal scenario would be, we are bearish. We have structure that is bearish, which we can see here. The structure is about to turn bearish. And then we should have volume that turns bearish as well. And then we should see some sort of entry signal as part of our strategy to then take the trade. Overall, so far, the trend's pretty clean. Everything looks pretty good. However, we need our volume to help us as well. Like our volume needs to tie back in for us to then take the trade. Otherwise, we could just be ranging between these two levels because Iran and US are having their talks, and it is because of this reason the price has just been ranging. Like once the talks conclude, we would see a more decisive move in gold. For now, it's a ranging market for us to trade. Ideally, if we want to sell, we want to sell here. So we want price to go here, and then we can potentially sell it from here back to this level. And then here we would want to buy because whenever prices come here, it is always, try to push back up. So let's see. But since we're in a range, we'll just wait for now. And we'll wait for price to come to this level to then sell it back down to this level here. Overall, if we go through our trend, you can see that we're still overall still bullish on price structure on 30 minutes. Since the structure is still holding, it's not breaking. Whereas the oscillator is pointing towards being bearish. And these inconsistencies or misalignments tell you that the market is at indecision, and it's going to wait for the Iran and US talks to conclude before it starts to find its direction again. Because gold is a very, very aggressive asset, and it moves pretty fast. Like right now, the way the gold is acting right now is unusual for now, because like more recently gold's been trending very, very aggressively, and when it trends aggressively to one side. Yeah, based on the volume, this could be a buy. However, since we are looking for bearish move, we're not going to be buying here. We're only selling today. Based on our rules, we'll only be selling, and that's why we'll have to wait for price to come to this area right here, and then potentially see a sell opportunity to sell it back down all the way here. Yeah, price came down, rejected, pushed back up. Now it wants to go back up here and then potentially touch here and then come back down here. So we'll wait for now. Meanwhile, I can walk you through, the different things that you see on your chart here, right? So anyone who's watching us, regularly every day, they can see that this is they already know that this is our oscillator, and we decide on our bias based on our oscillator. If the oscillator is pointing towards sell side, which is denominated by being red or pink in this case, you can see that we'll only be looking for sell trades. We'll only be looking for sell trades because any buy trades will have very, very aggressive pullbacks since the overall direction is sell. Next, we want to have our market structure. We want to have our market structure being bearish, which is lower highs and lower lows. Something like this, you see, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Sorry, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And then we want a lower high and a lower low, right? So this is what we're talking about here. Then we need our volume, our number of buyers, significantly less than our number of sellers. Once these three things align, we can actually start looking for our trade setup. And another thing I wanted to show you guys was, this strategy that I've made requires, market structure as well. So whenever you see CHOCH, that is change of character. So price was, let's say, bullish, and then at this level it turned bearish again. So we have our structure confirmation that we are looking for potentially a sell side move. Whenever CHOCH is red, it means we are looking for sell side. Whenever it's green, we're looking for buy side. But in this case, since our bias is bearish, we are looking for a sell side move. And potential target is going to be this pivot right here. So these lines that you see, these are the different pivot points, which will serve as our price targets. The band itself is our way of filtering out, a market structure. If it's bullish market structure, you will see band, price perfectly moving above the band, and the band will be green. And if the price has momentum, the band, while it's green, it will turn to purple, which tells us that there is a lot of volume in that move, and the momentum is very, very strong. Similarly, if the price moves below the band and the band is red, it means the price is bearish and market structure is bearish. But if it turns from red to orange, it means the price action is extremely bearish and the momentum to the downside is very strong. Remember, everything must align with volume at the end of the day. If it doesn't align with the buyer's volume or seller's volume, we will not be taking those setups. And the different time frames. The reason we use different time frames is because 1 minute can be choppy by itself, but if you use 4 different time frames and align your bias with higher time frame, you you're more likely to have profitable trades. And otherwise, on a shorter time frame, you know, your bias is not always aligned with the higher time frame. So that's why having all the time frames aligning together is where you will get the best entries. And for the purpose of this channel, we're using a rule-based approach, and we will only be trading when we see our rules being met. So anyone who is actually watching this channel, they can note it down that we look for 3 components, and if these 3 components align, we will be able to take a trade setup. Anyone joining us, we are bearish for the day. Our bias is going to be bearish for the day. So we're going to wait for price. Price is going to start pushing up. Higher time frame is still bearish. You can see here. Lower time frames are bearish as well. We want a pullback and then a reversal and a push down. So this is what we'll be looking for. So price is pushing up. We just have to wait. And then this messy price action that you see is because of, you know, the Iran and US talks. And another thing I want you guys to become, you know, build a habit of is actually looking at Forex Factory. It helps you understand the type of news that is there in the market. And then you can assess the amount of volatility there will be in the market. A lot of the time when it's red news, there'll be a lot of volatility in the market, but only because today it's, you know, Iran and US in talks, and their talks are going to resume later today. This tells us that there's not going to be a lot of movement in the market, and price is just going to be ranging here until there is a decisive outcome of you know, their talks. As a trader, you know, we're not going to be able to find setups every single day. We have to wait, we have to have patience, and we have to wait for our setup to form. And once that setup forms, we will be able to take our setup, we'll be able to take our trades. %90 of trading is actually waiting. Only 10% is actually taking action. So a profitable trader, you know, waits for their setup to form, and that's when, and once, you know, they see it, they're able to execute it flawlessly. And always, always, always have a stop loss for your positions, and never, or either a mental stop or a stop loss added through your system. Because nothing is guaranteed in the market, and anything can go anyway. Like, it can change its direction at any time. Price can change its direction at any time. There is frequent, you know, retracements in the market, which would, you know, potentially, you know, take you out of your winning position. You might be profitable, and then you just round trip the entire profit and close red for the day, right? So that's why having a mental stop or a stop loss is very, very important. And then respecting that is really, really important, because this whole profession is about surviving as long as you can survive, because the longer you survive, the longer you're able to make mistakes and learn from them, and then eventually build good habits as a trader, and then use those habits to then compound your trading account. Yeah, my personal experience, like I started trading almost 5 years ago, and when I started trading, my initial exposure was, you know, trading by myself, and I had beginner's luck, which actually hooked me to trading. And later on, I started losing money. I started looking for signals, and then I started looking for bots, and finally I realized that it's not the bots, it's not the signals, it's you yourself and your analysis, because market is not going to be same all the time, right? And you can see this stuck price action tells me that the price is moving. Wanda does that sometimes. So we just got to be mindful of looking at different brokers, because Wanda was stuck, right? Wanda was stuck. So Wanda gets stuck often. So right now we're just going to see FXCM just for the purpose of price action, to understand, okay, price is still moving and Wanda is moving now again. So that's good. That's good. Okay. Wanda is moving. We'll just wait for now. Yeah, Wanda is moving. However, the liquidity, it seems like there's not a lot of liquidity in the market, and that's why you don't see those big moves happening in the market. And again, the reason is uh, Iran and US talks. Anyone joining us just now? We're bearish for the day, and we're going to wait for our setup to form. Our model requires three kinds of alignments, which is, number one, you need to have your bias, overall bias for the day, which needs to align with the overall market structure. And then those two need to align with the overall market participation, which is, your buyers versus sellers in the market. Once these three things are aligned, we will be happily taking our setup. So we'll just wait for now. Yeah, guys, if we don't see anything, you know, if we don't see, at least a move to the upside, so we can, potentially look for a down move to the bottom of the range, we might have a shorter a shorter stream today. Yeah, you can already see the volatility in the market as well. Let me see if this number is the same. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. However, the price action is choppy. There is no move in the market right now. As traders, we need momentum. Momentum brings in opportunities which are high probability setups. If there's no momentum in the market, you won't see opportunities coming to fruition. So for now, we'll just wait. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Yeah, another thing I want you guys to keep an eye on is Financial Juice. It's a free website for news. You guys can use this to, keep an eye on the most updated news, because news will have an impact on gold. So just keep an eye on the news. Uh, Look at your forex factory to assess market volatility and see when you want to trade versus when you don't want to trade. And because you will see the news events will actually show you how much liquidity is coming into the market. If there's not a lot of liquidity in the market, you'll not see good price action. And this is not good price action right now. What you see is not a good example of good price action. And that's why, risking right now, it just doesn't make sense. We'll just have to wait for now. Volume is not aligned. Like this is good, but this is not good so far. We are actually bearish for the day. Yeah, when you see price, in the middle of the band like this, it shows, it tells you that the price is actually in a range. It's range bound because, and that's where even look at like from the bottom to the top, it's just 65, 71. So 6 points. The range is of 6 points. And that's one, two, three, four candles. Let's see if we can get a bearish move. That'll be amazing. Yeah, and you can see when there is no momentum in the market, no signal, no strategy is going to give you good trades. The best time to take good setups and good trades is when there is momentum in the market. When price is actually respecting the higher time frame, when there is good market structure forming, and when the overall volume is aligning with that direction. Let's quickly see if there is more volume in the other markets. Yeah, Nas is having actually down volume. You can see, and this is the kind of thing I was talking about, right? It's still bullish, so this would just be considered a pullback in the market for now. Again, US30 is bullish, so overall price is bullish. So this is something that like only Nas is having good volume here today. Gold is choppy. Gold is starting to pick up now. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. But again, anything, anywhere where you see, price away from the band and trending below the band is actually, good market structure, and it's bearish. When it's, within the band or just trying to come back to the band again and again, that is like bad price action. You see price goes down and then snaps back up. Here what we are looking for is we're looking for price to make move here and then just reverse, like something like this. Where it is. Yeah, yeah, something like this. And then something like this, basically. Yeah, so we're looking for something like this. The price makes this move to the upside, touches this level, or even goes past this level and then tries to come back in and gives us a move down, right? So this is the kind of move that we're looking for today. Like higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And then higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And eventually, goes back down. since we're just in a tight range. And you can see like right here, it's also again in a range. Everywhere you'll see price action right now today as actually just in a range, just in a tight range. Only price action happening is a US 100. But on this channel, we only trade gold. So we'll only be looking at gold. Restricting ourselves to one asset class, mastering that asset class. Because when you trade one single asset for a very, very, very long time, you will actually become really good at, understanding that asset class, how that asset moves. And this is what we are doing on this channel. We're trading one asset class, and we're building this habit of just looking at the same asset class again and again, again and again, again and again. And then from that, we're gonna gain this experience. No, you guys gonna gain this experience, which is gonna help you in your trading. Yeah, market looks dead today, and we're just gonna wait another 20 minutes, 24 minutes, and see, or we can stream. We can stream this pretty much tonight to our 11 a.m. 11 p.m. 11 a.m. Eastern, and then if nothing happens, we can just close the stream for the day. But yeah, like this is the kind of attitude you need to have. You need to come every single morning with the intention to trade. However, you need to wait for your setup to form to take your trades. If there is no setup, you don't trade. You might not get a setup for 1 or 2 days, but you have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined. You need to execute flawlessly. You need to follow your plan. You need to follow your setup. And there's nothing that can stop you from becoming a profitable trader if you do all those things that I've just mentioned. Yeah, even the indicator, the Bullion Bulls AI system actually includes market structure when it's giving me these signals, right? So that's why when we take our signals, those signals actually take into account the market structure along with the overall bias and the volume. So it really is, a, a sophisticated system that we have built based on our own trading experience, which now can be like used flawlessly, uh, and makes us a restricted trader. Means we have to follow certain set of rules. If those rules match, we'll take the trade, and if not, then we'll not trade. So for today, we'll just wait on the sidelines, wait for our setup to form, and then execute. Yeah, the price action is literally just ranging today. Not a lot of move in the market. Overall it's just been ranging. It seems like market is starting to, start selling again, but we just have to wait for a clear direction to form here. Yeah, guys, market is actually looking to dump. Let's see if we can get something. Yeah, market is actually starting to dump. Yeah. Yeah, this is the problem, right? Like when you see Oanda, you won't see the dump, but like here you would see it. So I think it's a good idea to open a sell here. So we'll open a sell and our stop is going to be right at the high. And you will target this level right here. Or maybe targeting a minimum 1 to 2. Yeah, right here. Let's wait. Once the price comes back, we will like to enter here. Everything is still pointing towards bearish side. Volume is, we need to wait for the volume to start, uh, you know, increasing to the sell side. If that happens, then, we would go to the sell side and, target this level right here. Because everything else is dumping, and that's the only reason we think that instead of going to the top of the range, it will just, come down and dump. Let's wait for this sell side volume to increase. It should become greater than the buyer side and then become aggressive to one side. Once that happens, we can take the trade and push all the way down here. Yeah, I think it's ready to dump. We have sell side volume increasing, we have structure forming, we have trend getting established, and volume starting to, dominate. Overall, everything is selling, so I'm expecting a dump. And our bias is also aligned. Yeah, today risk small on your positions. Don't try to risk big because market is a bit choppy. Just trade stop to right here. Basically. Reduce risk on the position. Yeah, I think we're gonna go down. Yeah, this level, they're trying to defend this level, but we would expect to see price to go down. We expect to see price to push down. Come on, gold. Gold is defending this level very strongly. Volume is still heavy on the sell side, but buyers are very aggressive at this level. If we can have more sellers coming in, we should expect price to push down. This would be a very good move for us. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna close. Wait for the TP to hit. Yeah, that was a good move, guys, so far. Let's go. Very, very clean trade for us today. Normally what you would want to do is like whenever you see a big aggressive candle, you want to record some profit. You want to take some partials, because a lot of the time what happens is like whenever you see these big moves, you need to record partials and then take full profit right here at this level. Let's wait and watch. Yeah, gold will start becoming bearish. If it starts trending here, means it's already, our bias was bearish, direction became bearish, and then eventually almost we're about to hit our profit target. Come all the way here. Guys, I'm glad that we were able to find a good trade today. Hoping this hits our take profit. We're gonna put stop to break even here. Let's wait and see how the move plays out, okay? I've taken some partials here exact at this level. We'll wait for price to come down. Anyone who is in the trade, stop to break even and try to hold some position up to this level. Yeah, just let's wait. Just keep stop to break even, guys. Potentially we can plan another entry like right at the band. That's the beauty of the band. Like you can always try to re-enter whenever price is in downtrend and it touches the band again. like a lot of the, this is like, this would be a break and retest. So it broke here and then retest the structure again. Uh, and then we should see price going back down, because a lot of people who missed the move at this, in this area, are now entering sells again. And let's see if these guys get stopped out, because their stops are going to be somewhere here. We just have to wait and see if price is just going to come back. But anyone who's in the trade, just put your stop to break even, and if you get stopped out, it's okay. We'll find another trade tomorrow. But price bounced off a very, very strong level, and this is something to note here, is that price bounced off a very, very strong level. Let's see if price reverses now, gives us a bearish wick, and then continues to go down. We want to see an inverted hammer candle, uh, and then that would be used to plan an entry. Yeah, because I think what it's trying to do is it's trying to come here and take stops at this level. Whoever tried to enter at this level, it's trying to come back and take these guys out here. So we just have to wait and see if price has potential to go back down. Overall, direction is still bearish. Bias is still bearish. Volume has picked on the buy side. We just need to see if the structure continues to be bearish. On 5-minute, we're still bearish. And on 1-minute, it has flipped bullish. Like the volume, or sorry, the structure on 1-minute is still bearish as well. So we just have to wait and see. We'll wait and watch. Yeah, we'll be ending our stream in about 24 minutes. It was a good stream today. Anyone who was able to book partials here, good job. Because one thing I want to tell you guys is, like, whenever you see big candles, those are the candles you want to book your profits. At least book your partials, and then let the rest ride to your TP. If that doesn't happen, then just put your stop to break even, and it doesn't matter if you get stopped out, because you still booked some partials. Especially a market like today, you wanna book your partials on the moves. Let's see. We only take one trade per day, so we already took our trade for today. Will not be trading anymore, guys. Yeah, guys, this is just like one of the setups that I see in the market often, and we're gonna see how this performs. But I'm not in a trade right now. This is just to see how this setup performs, because historically I've seen these setups to hit profit target, and normally these setups are always a minimum 1 to 3, a minimum 1 to 3. And whenever the setup forms, you at least get a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio on these setups. And I want to see how this setup performs. This is like one of the best setups in this strategy. Yeah, let's see. Because like the way these setups work is you have max DD of 100 pips, and you have, what do you have? You have an opportunity to have a break even trade, and then your stop loss is literally below structure. So these setups are different from the other setups that you see on the chart, on the in the indicator. But they have only been created because this is a strategy that I've built, and these are just different entry points for me, and the win rate is different for every setup that you see here. And there are different things that every setup takes into account uh, to to build a trade setup. Yeah, this is an amazing trade setup, and whenever I've seen this trade setup form in the market, price will eventually hit its target. In this case, since we're in a range, we can actually look just top of the range. But since I always risk a minimum 1 to 3 on these setups, we will try to hit the regular profit target. But I'm not in a trade right now, and this is something you guys can take a look at while you are while when we end our stream. But yeah, I'm not in this trade, and I advise everyone not to copy, only trade on demo. Any trades you see here are being only traded on demo accounts. We're not risking our money, so you should not risk your money. And just be mindful and have strong risk management. On days like these where the direction is not clear, you don't want to trade big size, you want to trade small size. And if, let's say, and it's always better to, instead of risking your own money, you can actually just take a prop firm challenge, maybe a cheaper challenge, and then just try to trade on that account. And if you pass that account, good. If you don't pass that account, it doesn't matter. Like, it was just maybe $50, $100. It's a tuition that you paid for learning the skill of trading. And always also keep a trade journal with you, so you write down the mistakes you made, or how were you feeling when you took the trade setup, and that would actually help. That will actually help you, uh, you know, reflect on your mistakes, reflect on areas to improve, and reflect on the, you know, how strong a setup is, how strong a setup is for you. How strong is actually your setup, basically. So, Yeah, the move to the upside has been very, very aggressive. 30-minute candle will close in 3 minutes. Let's see how the candle closes. And then we should see if the bullishness continues, because we are on a higher time frame, we're still bearish. And I expect price to retrace for this move, because a move works best when everything aligns. But the signal that you see here, along with the volume, the kind of volume we see, um, these are majority of the time manipulations, manipulative price action. Yeah, the volume is not able to sustain so far. Because with gold, what you would see is, like, you would see an aggressive move to the upside, but in this case, it's just doing that retracement that it did. I think day before yesterday. Let's see if this is just a pullback or a reversal. That's why I kind of stayed out of this trade. I did not take this trade because, number one, it's not perfectly aligned with the overall bias. And number two, for the purpose of this channel, we're only taking our bias. We're not really trading our emotions, right? So yeah, guys, today's stream has been really, really good. Do let me know if you want anything else to be discussed on streams every single day. Uh, we're gonna be live tomorrow. What is it tomorrow? Tomorrow is Friday. Yeah, so we'll be live tomorrow. I think there's gonna be a good amount of price action tomorrow because Iran and US talks hopefully would have concluded by then, and we might be able to see more decisive price action in the market rather than just a range bound market, which we are seeing for almost now 2-3 days. Hopefully on Friday we'll see some good trend forming and price moving in a trendy fashion rather than having snapback moves, like just pushing and then snapping back, pushing and snapping back, right? So yeah, it was a great day today, guys. Trade safe. Don't copy trade other people. Try to learn this skill, because one thing I want to leave you guys with is, you want to learn how to fish, and instead of getting a fish on your plate all the time, because you are then dependent on the other person, right? So in order to have that capability, have that ability, you need to be able to take make your own do your own analysis, and take your trades based on your own analysis. Okay, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.